Right, so stepping into the new Nissan Qashqai, arguably one of the country's most successful SUVs. Let's start the engine. There we go. So this has got the diesel engine. Shut up! Oh, it's because I'm parked near that post. Yes, I know. Ah, silence. Right. Now, I have briefly driven. I don't know what. This has got the all-round monitor. It's got the rear-facing camera. Yet I'm still going old school when it comes to. There we go. Right. Make sure I'm not going to run anyone down. This all-round monitor is very good. There we go. Impressive bit of kit. Okay. Yep. We get your point. So I've briefly driven the previous Qashqai, and although that was a quick drive, I was rather impressed by it. But this is of course the new model. So underneath the bonnet of this Qashqai, we have a 1.5 litre diesel. It produces 110 PS, which is about 108 brake horsepower, and it has 260 Newton meters of torque. It will hit 62 miles per hour in 11.9 seconds, and the top speed is 113 miles per hour. It's mated to a 6-speed manual gearbox, which is pretty nice. The gear lever itself feels a little bit cheap if I'm going to be picky, but the changes are pretty precise. That doesn't sound fantastic if I'm going to be honest. So I've got mixed feelings about the gear change. It's not a bad gear change and it can be precise, but the gear lever feels a bit cheap and that noise just isn't very appealing. So this model is a front wheel drive, but you can get all wheel drive if needed. Oh, that's for lane keep assist, telling me that I'm about to stray out of my lane. So nice bit of safety there. Let's drop it down into fourth. Yes, I know. Right, not a lot of power, so drop it into third as we go up this hill, into fourth. So, what is the car like to drive? Oh, that's telling me something about the autonomous emergency braking. Yeah, it's got quite a lot of safety features, which is fantastic, because let's be honest, a car like this is going to be used for family usage, so it's nice to have something that's going to keep your loved ones safe and sound. This diesel engine is pretty smooth from what I've experienced so far. This is literally a quick drive. I've got the car for about half an hour or so these are very much my initial impressions rather than a full-on review, but so far it seems pretty smooth, seems pretty refined. I can't really hear the engine. There's a bit of road noise, there's a bit of noise coming from the tyres, but the actual engine, I can't hear it. Let's change it down 1 or 2 gears to see what it's like towards the top of the rev range. And getting on for 4,000 revs now, and it's still quiet. The sound isn't intrusive. It's not barking at me or droning. It's just doing its business in quietness. I like that. But what's it like in regards to power delivery? Well, so far I have been wanting for a bit more power. I know this hasn't got a lot of power, 108 brake horsepower, but there we are. It's not bad. The delivery is smooth rather than linear or quick. So I'll be honest, if I were to buy a Nissan Qashqai, I don't think I'd have this engine. Now, I know a lot of SUVs are built with a diesel engine for better economy, of course, but I just want one with a little bit more poke. I know this car isn't designed for performance, of course, and it's not designed for speed, but I would want something a little bit more responsive, but that's personal opinion. Some others may get in this car and find it absolutely fine, and once you've got its speed, no problem whatsoever, of course. In regards to other engines, you can have a 128 brake horsepower 1.6 litre diesel, which can either be mated to a 6-speed manual gearbox or an automatic, with the former available with 4-wheel drive. But if you'd rather have a petrol, you can either have the 113 brake horsepower 1.2 litre engine, which can either be mated to a 6-speed manual gearbox or an auto as well, or you can have the more powerful 161 brake horsepower 1.6 litre unit, which is manual only. Neither petrol is available with 4-wheel drive though. On the brakes, oh, brakes have got quite a nice feel to them. Nice feedback through the pedal. They slow the car down quite well, which is fantastic, of course, it's what you need. The ride is pretty decent. It is a tad busy, but it may be because it's on big alloys. Now, off the top of my head, I don't know what they are, so I will need to double check that one for you guys. With it being an SUV, of course, you have a raised driving position. Visibility out of the car is pretty good. Actually, I have to say, the ride is actually, when you hit a few bumps, it is on the firm side. It's not uncomfortable, of course, but it's worth noting nonetheless. And even when the diesel is idling, again, can't really hear it too much. I was about to say, where's the stop start? There we go. And now, silence. So yes, whilst I'm stationary, let me talk to you about the inside. It's quite a nice place to be. I do like the steering wheel wrapped in leather. Oh, away we go. Wrapped in leather, and it's got a flat bottom, which is quite a sporty touch, really. It's not really the sort of thing I would expect to find in a Qashqai, but here it is anyway. Of course, you've got a touchscreen infotainment system. There are quite a few buttons on the centre console, if I'm going to be honest, but they are laid out logically, and it's presented quite nicely. You've got the black gloss trim. It's quite nice. Also got a nice inlay on the dash as well. Let's talk about materials though. That's soft touch, nice bit of leather. Yep, that's nice, soft touch, doing well so far. Okay, that's a little bit hard and scratchy the more you go down. And what about here? Bit of leather. Oh, yeah, that's hard and scratchy, but that is out of sight, that is in the footwell. This model has got the panoramic glass on the roof, which is fantastic. It's really nice for days like today because it just makes the inside feel so much more airy. Although the sun is hitting this glass and it is making me quite warm, so it is creating a bit of a magnifying glass effect, but it's very nice to have. I do like cars with a panoramic roof because it just makes everything just feel more pleasant, really. I have to say, these leather seats are really nice, and I really like the design on them. They've kind of got like a plaited design. Actually, I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me of like a nice wristwatch. Yes, it's very nice indeed. Nice and comfortable. They are electronically adjustable. So off the top of my head, I don't know whether that's an optional extra, but I will of course state whether it is. Nope, they are in fact a standard feature. And on the topic of kit, let's talk about specification. This is the range topping Tekna Plus model, which starts from £27,830 and comes with features such as Nappa leather seats, heated front seats, panoramic roof, 19-inch alloys, BOSE sound system, navigation and dual zone climate control, to name a few. Plus you get a whole host of safety features such as the lane keep assist and the autonomous emergency braking I mentioned earlier, but that vivid blue colour is an optional extra, and that will cost you an extra £745. Right, what's the car like in regards to handling? Not bad actually. It doesn't feel like a big car. Now, you drive some SUVs, and particularly when I drove the Ford Edge earlier, you get in it, you drive it, and you know you're in a big car, whereas with this, it drives like a big hatchback, which is why this car's been so popular. Take the car through here. Grips pretty well, not a great deal of body roll, and the car handles pretty well. And the corner's pretty flat, it is impressive. Grip's good. Not a lot of feedback from the steering, but same can be said for plenty of other modern electronic power steering units. But the steering feels pretty direct. I'm not really having to move the wheel that much to get the car to go where I want it to. And although I'm not really getting much feedback, I do have a good idea of where the car's heading. Competent, very, very competent. That's how I would describe the handling of a Qashqai. Definitely capable. And the Qashqai is a very easy car to drive. I'm just cruising through town, no problems whatsoever. The steering is nice and light, meaning it's easy to manoeuvre the car. And I can see why this car is so popular. You get the dimensions of an SUV, but it feels like you're driving a hatchback. So this really is a piece of cake to drive. Just get around this mini roundabout, like so. Turning circle's pretty decent. And this is the sort of car you can throw your luggage in, throw the kids in, and just away you go. Just pick it up, and yeah, like I say, it is an easy car to drive. Got good visibility, got a good level of kit, it's good value for money. It looks good as well. Now, I thought the previous Qashqai was pretty good looking, but the new one, it's more aggressive, it's got more bulges, it's sharper, and it looks fantastic. Now, this particular model is finished in vivid blue, and it's a really nice shade. I do really like it. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed, and it's easy to see why this car has been so popular. Now, this was actually the best-selling car in June of this year, and it's been one of the most popular cars in this country for many years. And you know, it is really the car that kicked off the whole crossover SUV craze. Since filming, figures have been released that has shown the Qashqai to be the best-selling car in the UK for September as well, with a total of 13,499 models sold. So the Qashqai has been a very popular model for Nissan, and I can see no reason why this model can't continue that theme, because I've only given it a quick drive, but I have to say it is rather impressive. It's very easy to drive, it handles well. Gear change isn't amazing, but like I say, I can't give you a full rundown of the car because time with the car is limited. But I hope you enjoyed that video nonetheless. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, and please subscribe for more car obsession.